What's up, Northsiders? It's Tom from Northside Barbell Club and Dynamic Training Center, Fredericton's finest functional facility. It's new release day today, apparently, for some exercise class, so that's the music in the background in case you're wondering if we have some sort of Korean video game arcade going on next door. No. But don't worry, there'll be death metal blaring in about an hour or two. We'll get things sorted out. So, first thing I want to talk about is I got asked a question last week that I get asked all the time, and it was, why would anyone want to lift heavy weight? What would motivate someone to want to set a goal of like lifting more weight than anyone else has ever lifted? So this question really irritates me because it draws a line in the sand between two groups of people. And on one side are the people that have decided they're going to travel to the South Pole. They've decided they're going to build a machine that flies. They've cured polio. They built the wheel. They lifted 1,000 pounds. They flew to space. They landed on Normandy. They have basically been responsible for the human race being on the top of the food chain and not getting fucked in the ass by gorillas. So if you don't get why that's important, I don't know what to say to you. Because 99% of the population is completely happy to go to Walmart and reproduce. And that's all they ever want to do, is have a nice comfy couch, a nice big TV, a fucking grocery cart full of Thirst Busters and chips, and a good pension. And those people make me want to fucking puke. Frankly, I mean, I guess it's the new year, and I'm kind of sick and tired of, you know, being nice about this, because frankly, that life, I don't understand why people bothered to storm the beaches of Normandy if that's what you're going to do with your life. I don't understand why people tried to figure out flying machines if you're just going to use them to take a commuter flight out to Toronto so you can MCI on your KPIs and work your shitty job. I know this is turning into a rant, but the fact that like people constantly are looking at people that want to go to the Olympics, or they want to teach themselves to walk again after they become paralyzed, or they want to spend years studying something so they can cure an incurable disease. The people that have drive and push themselves beyond something that is considered the norm, those are the people that make life easy for the mouth breathers. And so, how dare anybody say, why do you want to push? Why do you want to drive? Why do you want to step up when everyone else wants to lay the fuck down and be lazy? So, there's my answer. Following on that, there's a really great next topic I want to talk about. If anyone's still listening to me and isn't just tuned off and calling me a complete asshole, sorry. And I'm actually not an asshole, but I just have a pretty strong message that I kind of want to get out there because I'm sick and tired of people being unhappy. And I guess if I could just back up for a second, the truth is that everyone has the capacity to do something amazing. Everyone has the capacity to do something that makes their life worth living. But you also have a lot of counter messages out there that are telling you to be a consumer, that are telling you to be a mouth breather, that are telling you to be a cubiclite. And so I can't really get across to people why, like, I believe powerlifting can save the world. I do. I believe powerlifting can save the world. Maybe just the world in the view of the people that are actually doing it, which I know is only going to be one 1/100th of a percent of the people out there, but it gives some people an escape from the gray, boring ass reality that is life right now, and it gives them an opportunity to do something and be great without without all the bullshit that's out there. So, anyways, that's my point. Hopefully that got across. So the next thing about that is that setting goals is total bullshit, and following your passion is also total bullshit. So I'm getting sick of, I don't know, I used to have, when I was more focused on business and less focused on sport, I had all of these, Richard Branson types, billionaires going on about how life's about following your dreams. And then constantly telling everyone that, everyone has the potential, blah, 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 to be a billionaire and all this, just total garbage. And the most common thing you'd hear as you were trying to build a business, get a small business going, was follow your passion. And it's completely useless advice. I'm sure everyone out there listening has got a passion. They're passionate about something. That doesn't mean that they're going to be good at it at all. How many guys would kill to be in the NHL? We're totally committed to it for years and years. Did they get in the NHL? No, because you suck at hockey. So it doesn't mean you're going to be successful. And that's just the way it is. Now, that being said, there are things that are not bullshit. Like habits. Having consistent habits. So, and I'm stealing most of what I'm saying right now from a book by the guy that wrote Dilbert, Scott, I don't remember his name. But he said, talking about like I don't know how many guys I have that are friends of mine on Facebook that are powerlifters that go on every day and talk about their goals and what they're going to do at their next competition. And frankly, guys, you're talking yourself into failure. Like, going on and on about how much you're going to kick ass is a waste of fucking time. And it actually motivates me. One, because I want to prove you wrong. I don't want to prove you wrong. It's not like I don't want to see you do well. But it kind of gets nauseating listening to you stroke yourself off on Facebook every day about how awesome you are. Nobody else is listening. Do you notice how there's not that many likes? That's because no one likes hearing someone go on and on about themselves. Let me back up a little. This is a full-blown rant, but fuck it, we're doing it anyways. What is actually going to cause you to be successful is not what kind of goals you set, and it's not what you're passionate about, it's the habits you choose to have every day. So, I have goals for what I want to do in April and in June, and I'm not telling too many people what they are, because I don't want to. I like to keep it secret because that inspires me. See, when you go on Facebook and you go, my goal is to total 2,000 pounds or whatever, and everybody's like, yay, good for you, you have a goal, yay. You already accomplished it. On some level in your brain, you already got congratulated for it. So you fuck up that whole Pavlovian cycle of, if I work, then I achieve the goal, then I get the affirmation. In the social world, that doesn't work anymore because people won't shut the fuck up about themselves. And the minute they decide they're going to change their lives, what do? They start barfing all over Facebook about how great their life's going to be. Your life's going to suck, all right? Because instead of actually getting off your ass and doing anything, you're just goofing off on Facebook, telling everybody about what you're going to do tomorrow. Yeah, right. Yeah, let me know how that goes. Having been a coach that gets, contacted 5 or 6 times a week by people that are going to change their lives, and then how it usually goes is their friend knows me because they train with me, so then they add me on Facebook, so then they tell me that they're going to change their lives, and then I get to listen to 3 days of them going on and on about how awesome their life is going to be, and then they disappear.
And then 2 months later, when I check back in on them, they're back to the, you know, the FML statuses, and they're playing Candy Crush. So, you know, spare me the, you know, going on and on about what your goals are and what your successes are going to be, and just get on with doing it. If you want to talk about something, maybe talk about what stuff you've changed and how it's getting you there. I'll give you an example. Food. Okay, so one of the things that I've done because I want to be stronger is Thursday's food day. I always try to hit about 250 grams of protein per day every day, and I try to eat I do eat 250 grams of protein per day. I do consume probably about 300-400 grams worth of carbs. And fats, I get a lot of fats because I eat kind of fattier cuts of meat, and I eat eggs, and I eat a lot of herring. So, but then the day before my big squat night, Friday night, all that I have to do on that day is mobility work, so getting my body just nice and loose, and eat a couple extra meals, so 2 extra meals that day. And so that means, you know, more stuff like carrots, more stuff like potatoes, more stuff like squash, some bread, God forbid. I know it's not paleo, but usually wolf back a couple extra breakfast sandwiches, and just put some extra fuel in the tank, because Friday night I got to blow it up. So that's one thing I do. Here's another thing I do. I write down my training every day, and before I go and do my training, I have a rough template in my head of what I like to do. I can't, for some reason, I can't program my training out 2 or 3 weeks in advance. There's too many variables. It's like masturbation, you know, like that's great, but it's probably not actually going to happen. But what I can do is I look back on the last 3 or 4 times that I train squats or deadlifts, and just look over the last like week or two's worth of training, and then I decide what I'm going to do that day, and then immediately after I'm done, I write it down. Sometimes I'll even stop the workout to go write down important points. So I'm constantly writing down my training so that I can review it, read it over again, and I'm thinking about what I'm doing. And that's leading to some huge benefits. Later on we'll start putting up some videos of like actual training. But for now, I guess I'm stronger than I've ever been. And that's pretty strong, because if you check the records on Canadian Powerlifting Federation, you'll see my name's on there a few times, despite the fact that every time I go to a competition, I never actually get mentioned. Other guys do, but oh well, I guess maybe we'll change that. Maybe we won't. We'll see about who has the best habits. Well, that was a long-winded rant, and thanks for putting up with it. I really do appreciate all the support that I get. The clients that come out help me to afford to train, which is great, and getting to work with them. So, despite the fact that I go on some real crazy rants, I guess what kind of message I'm trying to come across with is that, you know, there's some things you know, in our society that are just completely fucked, and none of us are actually going to change any of those overnight by ourselves. But what I do love about powerlifting is that it's a sport that's about an individual responsibility, and there's no politics. You're responsible for your training, you're responsible for your nutrition, you're responsible for your lifts. You got no one to blame but yourself. It's the simplest sport there is. You're either stronger than the other guy or you're not. There's no Russian judge that's going to knock you 3 points because you're not from Russia. There's none of that bullshit. You know, so America doesn't get to vote on whether or not you should get to stay. It's none of this political popularity bullshit that seems to be taking over our whole society, and that's why it's pure, that's why it's true. And so it's important, because things do need to change on a personal, on a community, and a global level. Otherwise, you know, this whole fucking ship's going down. Well, that's a cheery thought to end it on. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.